Today, I want to show you why one of the most important climate decisions at COP30 isn't about carbon, it's about truth. And why protecting climate information might be one of the most powerful climate actions any one of us can take. After years of attacks on scientists, journalists, and environmental defenders. And the data behind this decision is honestly alarming. So in this video, we'll talk through what the new Declaration on Information Integrity actually means, why it matters to everyday people, and how small, simple actions from all of us can directly strengthen climate action. I'll tell you the one thing you can do today that genuinely makes a measurable difference. COP30 in Belém, Brazil just marked a first. A global commitment to protect the integrity of climate information. 10 countries, including Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Spain, Sweden, and more, have already endorsed this new declaration. It was drafted with civil society, scientists, and environmental defenders who have been sounding the alarm for years. President Lula put it bluntly: climate change is no longer a threat of the future, it's a tragedy of the present. And yet, even as the impacts intensify, the attacks on science and truth have also grown. Misinformation, denialism, harassment of researchers, and well-funded greenwashing campaigns. And there's one reason world leaders are so concerned. The scale of the problem is now global. Why this declaration exists? According to the initiative behind this move, journalists reporting on climate issues are being targeted and harassed. Scientists face coordinated denial and distortion of their work. And social media hosts waves of climate misinformation daily. Greenwashing campaigns obscure the real sources of emissions. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned that without reliable information, we lose the ability to act, to hold power accountable, and to build consensus. UNESCO's Director General Audrey Azoulay echoed this. Without access to reliable information about climate disruption, we can never hope to overcome it. This is why the declaration calls on governments, media, academia, the private sector, and funders to work together to counter those threats. So, why this matters to everyday people? Here's the heart of it. Climate misinformation doesn't just distort the big political decisions. It quietly shapes everyday choices. It affects what we buy, who we vote for, how communities prepare, and whether families support or resist climate policies. It also affects whether people believe their actions matter at all. So when misinformation spreads, people feel confused, overwhelmed, and apathetic. And when people believe others don't care, they stop speaking up. Even though global surveys show the opposite. Most people support climate action, but think they're in the minority. This perception gap slows everything down. Good information, on the other hand, builds clarity, confidence, and collective momentum. It helps families talk about climate change without fear or conflict. It helps voters make informed choices. It helps citizens see through greenwashing. It empowers communities. And honestly, it shrinks that feeling of helplessness. So here's that one meaningful action. Whenever you can, share reliable, evidence-based information, calmly, consistently, and in your own words. Why? Because research shows that misinformation is often defeated not by experts alone, but by trusted everyday voices in people's lives. Friends, families, colleagues. Other small, powerful actions include supporting independent journalism, fact-checking before sharing, following credible scientific institutions, calling out clear misinformation gently without shaming, amplifying climate educators, scientists, and community organizers. These aren't big, dramatic gestures, but they build public understanding, and public understanding drives policy, investment, and action. What countries are actually committing to? The declaration lays out specific commitments. In plain language, they're promising to protect freedom of expression while defending facts, strengthening a diverse, resilient media ecosystem, and ensuring accurate, accessible climate information for everyone. Further, they're promising to include information integrity in the UN climate education and participation frameworks, and protecting environmental journalism and scientists and researchers from attacks. They promise to build shared capacity, especially in developing countries, to respond to disinformation. This new framework also calls on governments and businesses to fund integrity research and responsible advertising, and to stop practices that spread misleading information. But even with government commitments, the real impact might come from something much closer to home. So, as COP30 debates carbon budgets and finance mechanisms, the truth is this: none of those decisions matter if we lose our shared understanding of what's real. Climate information integrity isn't abstract, it's the foundation of every climate solution. And every time you choose to share fact-based information, you help strengthen that foundation. So, what kind of climate facts could you be sharing today? Let us know in the comments. Let's talk about it. And thank you for joining us today. See you again soon.